Hello everyone and welcome to Zero2One Summer 2020 Demo Day. To our fellow serial entrepreneurs, thank you for coming to join in on this special day for our Spring 2020 cohort and getting to know more about us. To our special guests that may or may not have made it, we'll introduce you later. We'll be sending this recording to you later on. Thank you for taking your time out of your day to support our cohorts and just support us in general. To our Zero2One exec team, thank you for providing your constant support for our cohorts, and most importantly, making our common vision a reality. And lastly, to our Spring 2020 cohort, I cannot even begin to express how amazed I am by the progress you guys have made throughout the last 2 months, even during summertime when everyone had internships or just wanted to be lazy. It is for motivated individuals like you that we started this club. Today is your day. Use this moment to show everyone what you've been working so hard on and what you've been unwilling to give up on. Good luck. But before we go on to the pitches and the demos, what is Zero2One for those who haven't met us yet? Like the slide says, we're a community of student entrepreneurs collectively pursuing their startup, nonprofit, and business ventures. In a nutshell, we're just a community of very motivated student entrepreneurs working to support each other on their own ventures. As you can see, we have a total of 6 ventures from our Spring 2020 cohort, ranging from prosthetics in third world countries to boba vending machines and even on-campus bike locks. Resultingly, none of our ventures are just one kind of projects or ventures, as it may seem. They're not just technology, not just non-tech, they're everything. And that's what we support here at Zero2One. Now for the purpose of Zero2One's Demo Day. So first of all, it's to present each cohort's individual progress, each venture's individual progress. What we've seen through trial and error is that having some kind of day to showcase your efforts to the public and just to yourself is a great way to push yourself to finish and embark on your venture. Second of all, of course, it's for the general public to learn more about us. So potentially we can attract more like-minded people to join us. And of course, to collaborate with other RSOs. And on the other hand, if you're interested in any of our ventures at all, feel free to contact them and join them. We have many thoughts and aspirations in store for the future of Zero2One's Demo Day. We're having our finance team working on a Demo Day prize for funding, for example, $200 for the best pitch, $200 for the best innovation. It's a little bit of money, but that's not what we're focusing on. Again, what differentiates us from other entrepreneurs RSOs is the fact that we're building a community of student entrepreneurs. And in the future, when we have our advisor set, we'll have advice from entrepreneurs and experts. And lastly, hopefully we can attract investors to support our ventures. We have some special guests that we'll be sending this recording to, or they might be here today, but Peter, could you introduce them?
Yeah, so we invited some special guests today, and we would like to thank you guys for coming and checking us out. First of all, we have Kieran, who is my previous boss from a couple summers ago. He's a very experienced entrepreneur. He's the current CEO of Deep Factor. You guys can look that up later. Next, we also have Danny, who was my mentor from a startup incubator program that I attended in high school. He's also a very experienced entrepreneur. He's a very experienced iOS and software engineer, and he is the current one of the directors for Hack COVID 1.0, 2.0, and 3.0. Great to have you too. We also have, I don't know if they could make it, or maybe they'll show up later, but we also have Manu Edekara, who is the current director of iVenture Accelerator, which is the premier startup incubator at the University of Illinois. He's also a Forbes 30 Under 30 scholar. And finally, we have Professor Smits, who is a EC professor and the director of EC 101. So yeah, thank you guys for coming and checking us out, and hope you guys enjoy it. Yeah.
Thank you, Peter, for this intro. All right, we'll be moving on to the event rundown. So we had a brief introduction. How it's going to be run later on is that each venture will have 8 minutes to pitch their own venture. In which case, at the 7-minute mark, I'll tell you that you have 1 minute left. So we'll be running through all 6 ventures. At the end, we'll have a very short closing remarks, and then just a slide on future Zero2One developments. Lastly, we encourage all questions and uh, everything you want to say to these founders. We'll open up breakout rooms for you to talk to these founders individually. This entire event will be around 1 hour, so yeah, let's move on. Oh, sorry. Right now, I'll hand off the floor to Reach of Humanity to begin.
All right, just share my screen really quick. Okay, so hi everyone. I guess we're going first. So my name is Peter. I am one of the directors for Reach of Humanity. And Reach of Humanity is, in a nutshell, an early stage nonprofit that was started around a year ago. And we've been working very diligently on it for the past semester, for the past summer. So let's get into it. So the background and motivation. So we're doing this because there's more than 30 million amputee patients worldwide. And 75% of developing countries lack adequate prosthetic resources, such as technology, infrastructure, the money to actually purchase prosthetics and get the treatment, and medical staff to actually prescribe prosthetic technologies. And especially in developing countries, limb loss and amputations holds greater consequences than what we would experience in the United States, for example, such as depression, outcast by society, and unable to perform work duties because that often entails manual labor in these developing countries. There are so many locations and communities around the world with this demand. There's not nearly enough existing solutions and organizations that are trying to tackle this problem. And that's why we're doing this. So some quick research from all the interviews and all the secondhand market research that we've done over the past year. First of all, in Antigua, Guatemala, which is a city in Guatemala, there's only one doctor addressing the needs of hundreds of amputee patients, and he uses very primitive technology. There's a very broken healthcare system, and there's a huge need for this. In the Gambia, Africa, there's also like rural villages without adequate infrastructure and healthcare systems set up. And in Sierra Leone, most of the people with disabilities and amputations are outcast by society. Our goal is to, first of all, build a great product. Our product needs to be very versatile, functional, durable, easy to manufacture, and very cheap. And second of all, we need to implement sustainable prosthetic solutions in areas that need it the most. And that entails partnering with on-the-ground organizations such as schools, nonprofits, and etc. to actually set up infrastructure and help take us around our target market in the future. So next I'll hand it off to one of our other co-directors, Harshi, who is one of our engineering leads as well.
Yeah, so to begin with, our engineering team first recognized and identified three common patients, amputee patients. The first being transradial amputee, people who are missing their hand, their wrist, and like some parts of their forearm. And then the second being finger amputee, people who are missing parts of their fingers and only have parts of their limbs on them. And then the third being below knee amputees, people who are missing limbs below the knee. And we realized that these three groups across the world have been impacted the most and are more common. And we thought we should develop prosthetics for them to go forward. So here is our transradial prosthetic that our design team was able to finally achieve after 3 or 4 major iterations. As you can see, the hand can actually encapsulate the full range of motion that is very similar to an actual hand. Each finger is connected by their own links and are connected to the joint as you would see in an actual hand. And everything here is controlled by one cable, which allows for a fully opening and fully closing range of motion. Other than that, it also has a really sweet locking mechanism, which you can slide across the bottom. And if you can lock it as you grip, and then as soon as you slide it back, it would spring back into its natural position. This hand is truly innovative, and because it is unlike all the other hands on the market. Other hands are somewhat like more for aesthetic purposes or do not have the same functionality as our hand provides. Also, the locking mechanism really helps users get the grip that they might need in every day-to-day tasks and actions. The only backside to this design was that we found that the design was a bit too complex, so it kind of compromises durability and the assembly of the product in low resource communities. And so that's why our engineering team has decided to put it on hold for a while. Besides that, we've been able to focus our efforts on a finger prosthetic, especially throughout the summer, which is very simple, and it simply attaches to a glove that the user can, that fits onto the user's hand, and then the prosthetic simply attaches to the limb, to the missing limb. And this design is very simple, very robust, and modular. It has a very close full range of motion as you would have with an actual finger, and according to our design, it shouldn't be able to hurt, and it can easily be 3D printed and mass manufactured. And in fact, we've gotten it 3D printed, and now we're just waiting for our next stage is to do clinical trials.
Hi, I'm Nikita. So I'm the other project co-director, and I'm more on the business side. And I wanted to go through our business plan really quick. So first, we really wanted to identify the target markets, and when looking at target markets, we really wanted to find places where they had a higher demand for our product. And we wanted to build partnerships with organizations and other nonprofits that were in these locations as well. So these two steps are things that we've already completed, but looking onwards, we want to do also some further research and really polish up our engineering designs, and then begin to test it on local amputee patients just to make sure that in real time that the prosthetic is, that we get feedback and we're able to make adjustments as needed. And then we would like to test it in the actual location that we are going to be sending these prosthetics to. After that, we would also want to be able to implement the infrastructure so that the technology is able to be kept up long term. So when looking at target markets, we really have a few main criteria. Like I mentioned before, they need to have a demand for our products, so they need to have a lower accessibility to prosthetics, whether it's due to price or just actual quantity of prosthetics in their region. We also wanted to make sure that there were reliable partners and other nonprofits to help us run operations there, people who are responsive and trustworthy. We also wanted to make sure that we had in-country guides and ambassadors to help give us some extra background knowledge on how things are going in those target market regions. And they also needed to have sufficient infrastructure to operate the technology, which includes consistent access to electricity and internet. So we've identified 2 target markets based on those criteria we mentioned before, and as Peter mentioned. So we've been mostly looking at Antigua, Guatemala, and the Gambia. We've been looking at these 5 organizations currently, and we've been establishing relationships with them. So first we were looking at Volunteer Abroad GT, which is in Antigua, Guatemala. They're a volunteer organization. However, they are for-profit and require program fees, so we aren't as sure if we want to work with them in the future. We were also looking at the Range of Motion project, which has really similar goals to the Reach of Humanity, and they operate in Ecuador and in Guatemala. With the Peace Corps, we were able to speak with a lot of volunteers and interviews, so we were able to get a lot more background knowledge of these different regions and how they operate and how amputee patients would like to be helped. We also spoke to Legs for Africa, where we have the possibility of being able to help them with recycling secondhand prosthetics from America. And then we were also speaking to TATCOT, and we have the potential to establish a relationship with them in the future.
All right, I'm sorry, but that is time.
All right.
Gene, you're muted right now.
Oh, sorry. To the guests, again, all dialogue and questions will be saved towards the end of the breakout rooms. Well, thank you again to ROH. Amazing project, amazing venture. We'll be moving on to Soulmate.
Hi, can you see my screen? Just checking.
Yep, you're
Okay.
good.
All right, so I guess we'll be starting. Hi, we're Soulmate, and my name is Won Jun.
Hi, my name is Yong-Hoon.
And yeah. So when was the last time when you guys were outside and it was raining, or the weather was just simply terrible and then your shoes were ruined? Please react with a clapping hand emoji. Couple of you guys, I see. Yeah, so it's often annoying and it's just really annoying and it's frustrating to not like being able to you like wear your shoes again next day. So yeah, here's our solution: a machine that keeps your shoes clean and fresh for everyday uses. Our machine will be customizable according to your types of shoes, regardless of if it is dress shoes, sneakers, boots, or whatever. It's just we have some preset values that basically allows you to customize options dedicated for that shoes type. Also, it's just really simple to use. Just put in the shoes and you're done. It's sort of a smart shoe rack where you just store shoes, but at the same time, it will take care of shoes for you. Our motive for this project was from Airdresser, which is basically a smart closet, which is pictured right here, where you put in all the clothes, such as coats, jackets, whatever. It will take care of the clothes so that it's ready to wear without any odor or without any wrinkles by next day. Yeah, so first off, start with target customers and target markets. So this was mainly focused to fashion-sensitive group of people, such as hypebeast. I myself consider myself as a little bit of a hypebeast because I often get annoyed when I see my shoes dirty, and then I just want to keep it fresh and white every time. So people like me, they'll be one of the market, and then parents, moms. One reason for this is when you wear your dirty shoes in your houses gets also messy and then dirty as well. It's frustrating to clean this. So this machine will be taking care of that. Asian households in Asia. In Asia, there's monsoon seasons and it's gonna be raining a lot. And it's really frustrating to like dry your shoes every single time and then you often run out of shoes to wear next day. So Asia is our target market as well. Asian households, we have a culture of taking off shoes. So this will be definitely helpful. For our MVP specifics, everyday household will be our target because we'll be focusing on sterilization purposes. And next, I'll hand it off to Alex. You're muted.
So for our MVP concept, we actually have a long-term goal and a first MVP goal. But for our long-term goal, like we first mentioned, we want to design a automated shoe carrying system, which will be able to take care of your shoes daily. Whether that is just with dirt or rain, we'll be able to kind of dry or clean your shoes. But for our first MVP, we kind of focus on the sterilization part of our product because of the current situations with the pandemic. We knew that it is important for us to feature the sterilization so that even in the future when things do come, different pandemics might come, we have this part of our product so that people don't have the concern of having this virus or the disease on their products at home. And for our first MVP, the features we'll have is using UVC light bulbs to kill this virus. And we've done research on this, and many people have done research on this to prove that UVC bulbs have impact. And also we want to use heating systems so that it's not just the UV light radiation that's going to be killing the virus, but we're securing the heat so that it does a better job with the virus. And also we want to have a controlled air system so that the heated air isn't just constantly staying at one place, but we have airflow inside so that there's movement. And for progress on the hardware side, we have generally finished our CAD as of now. We have everything CADed on SolidWorks. And as of now, we have 2 fans, which have a combined heating system implemented onto it. And we also have 2 light bulbs that we're considering right now to use. And we also have a bottom dedicated just for the electronics. So it is separated from where the products of the people, like shoes, would be lying. Also, depending how the electrical systems are going to change and be designed, our designs are going to change by slightly with our sensors and our locking mechanism. So we're still working on that. And also with our daily discussions that we have in weekly meetings, we are currently doing small fixes and adjustments to our project as we go on.
A little bit onto hardware control side, which is basically electrical side and software side combined. We've just finished the general system configuration, both electrical and software. Software UI has been made. This is the picture is example of it. It's just a prototype debugging version. So it does look bulky and ugly, but we'll have a lot better version of it. But functionalities are all complete. Also, electrical system, if you see, that's a diagram. It's completed, and then we're just in progress of somewhat of testing and then manufacturing phase. And then something we're testing currently is heating control system, where it's combination of heating and then airflow system. We are testing some of the safety stuff right now. Also, we're trying to implement our motor for airflow as well. And then some left to do is manufacturing and the design of power circuit. Our business and marketing plan. So our MVP specific is trying to build a machine that sterilizes everyday objects according to a COVID situation. And then after we manufacture this, we're trying to target the buildings or locations where there's a frequent visitors that probably will expose this building to coronavirus risk. So we're trying to implement our machine to these buildings and see how effective it is. Also, regular household is one of our target market as well. We're also building a website where our users or customers can interact with us and see what's the progress with our product. And then compared to other competition product in the market, why Soulmate? So our box has bigger and modular design, whether you can like put in your shoes, wallet, phones, whatever you imagine. It's bigger and modular compared to other designs out there in market. Temperature control and air system addition makes sterilization more effective compared to just UVC light, which is just standard in other markets. And it also serves original purpose of shoe carrying as well.
1 minute left.
You're muted, Alex.
So for a timeline, starting July, we started our research and development. So we trying to figure out which types of UVC light bulbs we need to use or which type of parts in this product is necessary. And towards the start of August, we kind of finalized on our design and CADing and kind of talked about the exact things we need. And towards the end, we're now preparing to prototype and then finalize on the first MVP. And we're hoping that in September, we can do our first market test with the MVP and get feedback. And with the feedback, we're hoping that we can kind of take out things we don't need and also bring in things that we need. And also decide on mass producing, see if it is viable for the whole community with a very wide range of people, or if it's just to certain targeted customers. And we're also thinking about developing our brushing mechanism, which would be for a long-term goal, and then to implement that during October so that we can get a second MVP developed and designed. And for our works needed, right now we're finalizing our design and manufacturing. We need to figure these things out. And also with that, we need to refine our business model still so that it is more clear to the customers. And for our website development, we're currently in development. There isn't much that the customers can do. But when that is finished, we're hoping we can connect with the users and the people who will be visiting our site. And also we have to develop, or we have to really find out what the pricing will be, because as of now, we don't currently know, but we have to have this so that it's ready for the customers. And if they are interested, we can give them a general price range for this product.
And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you to Soulmate. We'll be now moving on to Abora.
All right. Let me share my screen real quick. Okay. All right. Hi, my name is Johnny Chang.
I'm Eric Zhang.
So we are the co-founders of Abora, a software solution that makes it easier to collaborate remotely and make teams feel more connected. So think about last time you worked with your coworkers remotely. You have this document that has to be quickly reviewed by your coworker by the end of the day, but then your coworker responses really slowly to the Slack message that you sent to them. Your deadline has to be postponed, and now your project's moving really slowly, and now you feel really frustrated and very angry at your coworker. The next day, you got an idea to improve your current project, and you decide to email your manager about some suggestions. Right? However, it's hard to communicate emotion and intention through text. And your manager misunderstood your email and thought you just dislike your project. So something that could be easily communicated through a quick chat is now causing you and your manager unnecessary negative emotions. So you decide to talk to your manager through a call. But now you have to spend the time to set up meetings. And now you know that you have to wait for hours and hours for the meeting until your project can finally move forward. So through our research, we found that the problem with collaborating remotely actually affects many, many highly collaborative teams. In fact, it's actually one of the top 3 problems that are affecting thousands of teams that are currently working remotely. So following other problems such as work-life separation and loneliness. This is how we are solving this problem. Our desktop application, Abora, this is a virtual office environment that is designed for instant communication and collaboration. You open this app when you get to work. You're automatically assigned to your own room, which then become available to anyone to join instantly for a quick chat. After you and your coworker is done with the chat, your coworker then leaves the room and ultimately return to their own room. You can see the entire team collaborating through this app. And after you're done with work, you just close this app. And Abora is complemented to other asynchronous communication applications such as Slack or emails for better communication. All right, now we'll show a very quick video demo of our app.
I hope you all enjoyed that short demo. Aboro's main goal is to provide several key benefits. The first and most important is to encourage more frequent, quick and instantaneous conversations and collaborations. This will reduce the hassle and unreliability of text communication, as well as diminish the time we sink into long and inefficient meetings. In addition, we hope to reduce the feeling of isolation felt by a lot of remote workers and to help improve their work-life balance. Since our app focuses on active, spur-of-the-moment communication, our target customers are highly collaborative teams that need to be very consistently connected. This includes startup teams, software development teams, marketing and sales teams, and product design teams. If you take a look at this graph, you can see how we compare to some of our competitors in our 2 focus areas. On the y-axis, we have ease of impromptu communication, and on the x-axis, we have team connection. Take Zoom, for example. Although it's really easy to set up a meeting room, it is really inconvenient for impromptu conversations. You must first go through the hassle of contacting participants through another application, such as Slack. You then have to decide on a time in the future that everyone agrees with. Abora offers persisting personal and team rooms so that team members can hop in and out of in a single click. Compared to Microsoft Teams, we offer a much more connected team atmosphere. Through Abora, you can see exactly which meetings are going on and who is talking to who at all times. This makes sure that every team member is really connected with the team and stays up to date with the rest of the team. Since the start of the century, the share of Americans working from home has steadily increased, as you can see on this graph. Since 2000, the share of Americans working from home has almost doubled. And according to Gallup and the US Census, the share of Americans working at home was around 5.3% at the start of 2018. Since the start of the century, the share of Americans working, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, there has been a huge spike in remote workers. According to Gallup, 62% of US workers are currently working from home due to COVID-19. After this experience, a lot of companies are starting to see the huge benefits of working from home, such as cost saving and even improved productivity. In fact, both Facebook and Twitter have announced that they will be allowing workers to work from home indefinitely. Therefore, we expect that there will be an ever-increasing demand for remote work solutions such as Abora. This is a quick overview of our current timeline. In June, we kicked off with market research and UI design. We then started MVP development, which we are currently wrapping up in the Y Combinator build sprint. After development is finished in the next few weeks, we will launch to select users and conduct focus group studies. What we're currently looking for are focus group participants such as startup founders and members, product development managers, and remote workers. We would also love to have mentors for product growth and growth strategies. Johnny Chang and I are the founding members of Abora, and we're currently both juniors at the U of I. Johnny's studying computer engineering, and I'm studying CS and stats. Thanks for listening. Our contact information is on the slide if anyone wants to get in touch.
All right, thank you again to Abora. We'll now be moving on to Tina Lopez coaching. Tina, whenever you're ready.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. My name is Tina Lopez, and I'm the founder and person behind Tina Lopez Coaching, also legally and formally known as Lopez Holdings, LLC. So I am an online business coach that helps online coaches scale to 5K and beyond in their coaching business without large audiences, email lists, and paid ads. So before we get started, I get this question all the time. Tina, what is coaching? Well, when we really think about coaching is essentially a specialized area of expertise that one provides extra teaching. For example, if you are trying to go to the NFL, you're going to work with someone who has expertise within football coaches, right? So same concept applies, that there is a specialized area of expertise to that person that you go to. So the industry that I primarily work on when I help online coaches is within the life coaching and mindset coaching space. And so a few statistics on the markets for personal coaching. It's anticipated by 2022, it's going to be a $1.34 billion market. Some high up there coaches you may have known would be Jenna Kutcher, Tony Robbins, things of that nature. And so the average income that we're looking at from these coaches can anyway range from $27,000 upwards to $73,000, and we have definitely some specialty coaches that can make over 6 figures in their coaching business. So a little bit of the purpose behind why we do what we do. So essentially, we have noticed that there is a huge gap within support within the female entrepreneurship realm. And in addition to that, we don't necessarily see a lot of female entrepreneurs, and we want to kind of close that gap and really help them through the power of business and entrepreneurship, specifically within the online coaching space. And a little bit of our target market is, again, we primarily serve female entrepreneurs that are rising within the coaching industry. A little bit of deeper market research or deeper analysis of our target market is that we work with individuals can range from 25 to 30 years old. They're making $60,000 and beyond, and they are really transitioning from the 9-to-5 to their own online coaching business venture. And so some of the market research that we have found through our ideal clients and through the current clients we help is that we found that they're really passionate about what they do. They love helping people through their mindset, life coaching, things of that nature, but they really lack the proper understanding of business, marketing, and sales. And really, at the end of the day, it is our mission to fill that gap and really prepare them for business so that they can do what they love, because essentially we want to help them really make money in their coaching business. And so a little bit of our solution, we provide 3 offers within our product suite. Currently, we're offering our one-to-one coaching, and that's personally really just individualized attention between me and the client. And really this is able to provide the maximum amount of support and resources to our clients. And as we grow, we are planning to really expand it into group coaching, which we are currently doing. And so we're taking our signature framework that has been able to get results with our one-to-one clients, and we're applying that methodology to a group participants and to have a broader reach to our clients. And so we definitely know that community is necessary for entrepreneurs to thrive within. Very similar to Zero2One, we want to be able to provide that community of online coaches to our clients. And so as we grow our business, we have our high ticket offers mastered and a well-oiled machine. Essentially, we want to expand into lower ticket offers so we can really catch those individuals that are really just wanting maybe specialized area within subtopics. They may not need the whole pie, but they may just want that little piece of the pie. So we definitely want to take our signature framework and expand that even further so we can reach a broader market of individuals. let's go back. And so a little bit of our timeline for our business approach. There is a lot of different ways that online coaches tend to market their services. And there are two approaches. There's the traditional launch where this is the start date, very similar to Realm. This is where you have to apply, this is where you get started, and then you get in, and then there's an end date. However, we personally don't like the stress and the level of things that come up when it comes to traditional launch. So we take an evergreen approach, and essentially what that means is that we continuously take clients on a rolling basis. We don't want to limit the potential for our clients to opt in, and we also don't want to limit the potential of income that we can make within our coaching business. And so a little bit of the timeline that we have currently, we are actually phasing out of our one-to-one coaching, and essentially we want to be transitioning into the group coaching offer, and we want this to be the bulk of our income simply because it's a little bit more passive and we can serve a broader reach of individuals within our group coaching element. And so as we grow, essentially we also want to expand into lower ticket offers, which is something that we plan to do majorly probably around Q2 of 2021. And so a little bit of our marketing plan that we have implemented. Currently, 100% of our business is organic through referral, but also through social media channels. And we really engage and connect with our target audiences. So we do definitely leverage our social media marketing channels. And then as we plan to grow, we plan to go to paid marketing utilizing Facebook ads to really broaden our reach and really retarget our potential customers so that we can have solid and qualified leads for our programmings, and then from there invite them to our programs. And we definitely currently actually leverage our affiliate marketing. So with our current clients, we definitely love that our clients are recommending our services to other individuals, and so we want to really leverage that. And if a client of theirs that they referred signs on, then we obviously want to give them a little bit of a referral bonus for doing that. And so this is a little bit of a snapshot of our product demo. We definitely use Kajabi as our core platform, and we have taken our signature framework, like I said, that have used for our one-to-one clients, and we basically made it in course format to really broaden our reach and to really provide our intellectual property to the group clients. And so essentially this is a little snapshot of how it looks like if you're to log into our portal, which is hosted through Kajabi. And so a little bit of the results of what we've done, we have been able to work with clients this past summer. And so we've definitely been able to provide wealth to those female entrepreneurs, and we've been able to help them get clients of their own in their coaching business. And a little bit of our personal journey within the Tina Lopez coaching realm is that we have been able to bring on 2 team members within our coaching business. And we've also been able to make multiple 5 figures in our coaching business, slowly on our way to 6. And so this is a rough overview of the results that we provide currently to our clients. And that is all I have to say. So thank you guys for watching and listening. And if you have any questions, I feel free to talk to you very soon. Thank you.
Thank you to Tina. Again, questions and all dialogue will be saved towards the end of the breakout rooms. But yeah, we'll be moving on to lockdown. So whenever you guys are ready, go ahead.
Alex, can you share the screen?
Hello.
Can you put it in present mode, dude?
Yes. Sorry. Whenever you guys are ready.
Yep. Good morning, everyone, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying the presentation so far, and welcome to our presentation. We are Project Lockdown. So just a quick introduction to our team. My name is Yi Chaitiri, and I'm the Operations Director for Project Lockdown. The other 2 members that will be presenting today are Alex Liu, our Electronic and Software Director, as well as Nirvan Sinha, one of our Mechanical Directors, and the last member on our team is Ki Patel, who's a Mechanical Director. So what is our problem, Alex? So the photo on the left is taken right outside of Kung Fu Tea on the University of Illinois campus, and as you can clearly see, it is evident that this disorganized manner in which the bikes are organized may cause damages to the bike, as well as potentially for bikes to be stolen by unwanted thieves on campus. On the other hand, if you take a look on the photo on the right, you can see that the utilization of a bike rack helps organize our bikes securely. However, the question remains is how can we maintain that security and how do we protect our bikes from being stolen? So after talking to the Urbana Police Department, we found that bike thefts as well as bike loss is going to be the #1 reported crime on campus. $40,000 a year is lost in damages related to bike crimes. This is within the Champaign-Urbana area alone. This is a concerning statistic, and so we decided to also survey students on campus to gauge their experiences regarding using their bike loss. And it was found that 33% of students aren't satisfied with the security of built locks to protect their bikes from theft. And so we've identified a key area of concern, and now I'll be handing over to my colleague Nirvan to talk about our solution implementation.
Yeah, so based on the research that we conducted, there's several goals that we realized that we had to keep in mind while working on this project. First of which is the fact that we wanted to encourage sustainable transportation on campus. In order to do so, we needed to increase bike security and accessibility to parking, particularly during rush hours and lecture times. We also wanted to engage in the digital integration of campus. So the solution that we came up with is an electronic bike lock, which has the ability to track bikes when they're parked. It's connected to an app that shows parking availability near buildings. And eventually, we want to integrate this entire system with the current student iCards. So this here's our solution, which is essentially a box that can be strapped on to current existing bike racks. The way this solution works is first, the user checks the app to see the availability of parking at the given location or building. They then park their bike adjacent to the bike rack as they normally would. They secure the bike wheel and frame using the gooseneck rod that's currently hanging out of the box, and insert the end of this back into the lock. The interface then hints for them to scan a code using the app. Once this is done, they receive a notification on the app to confirm that the bike has been locked, and they can track the bike remotely from class. When unlocking, they can tap on the app to receive a one-time unlock code from the app. They enter this into the user face, and the system automatically unlocks and releases the gooseneck out. After this, they can manually unsecure the bike from the gooseneck rod and continue their journey.
So next, we're going to identify the problems that we're presenting the solutions. So our team has capable of breaking down this problem into a physical locking mechanisms and into a control mechanism issue. So in each subdivisions, we're identifying the problem of adaptability, security, user interface, and communication. And in the following slides, we'll focus on the technical details of each of these aspects.
So talking about security and adjustability, there are two main aspects of our project that allow us to achieve this. First, we have an adjustable strap, which is adaptable to all existing bike rack poles and hence makes it very easy for us to attach, and it's very adjustable. For security, these straps are semi-permanent once they've been bound and are very tight to the pole, making it very hard to remove once they have been attached. The use of the gooseneck rod means that we can securely lock through bikes of all sizes, and also the lock is very secure. We can lock through the frame and the wheel.
So then we focus on the control and communication side of this. So there are 3 levels of essentially tasks that we have been working on. The first and the most fundamental is the embedded system here. So we have selected a very efficient and low power cost microprocessor in this STM32 chip franchise, and we also are using a short communication NFC chip to support essentially the communication necessary through the phone and our bike lock system. Then we're building we're programming and we're executing the controls on a C language level and the Java on the phone app level. Then we're preparing to release our phone app and other user interface through the Android and iOS releases, like through language like Swift, and obviously on the Android side, it's going to be the Java. So here is our project timeline. So as we see it on the left, it's going to be fall 2020. So we're in our stage 1 prototyping right now. We're currently working on constructing 1 fully functional prototypes and testing reliability and the safety of each subsidiary we mentioned previously. Then once we finish testing in the stage 1 prototyping, we will move on to the stage 2 prototyping, which we're planning out to be in spring 2021, which is more focusing on the business and the execution sides of this of our projects. We plan on implementing various locations across the campus in Urbana-Champaign and focusing on understanding the profitability and long-term costs of carrying out this project. Then we're planning on carrying into our implementation stage, which is a mass scale implementation with contacting manufacturers, outreaching, building partnerships, and increase of availability. And that will be carried out planning on to be fall 2021.
So for our marketing and operations, we are looking to push this as a student-based project. And so the advertising that we can get through the university newsletter is what we're looking for in the short term. This can also be supplemented with university programs. So for instance, the International Student Orientation, where they bring police and ILS to come brief students about their life on campus. So the same can be said about this bike locking process, and they can be briefed there. As for our mode of operation, we are currently deliberating between two models. So utilizing the device as a one-time cost that we can sell, or as a rental service that's similar to car parking, costs that charge a few cents per hour or for a monthly membership. This depends entirely on our final finished product, which is yet to be decided until we've finished the prototyping process.
Finally, what we'd like to talk about is the expandability in our final vision for this project. Right now, we're just trying to get it implemented so that the project works at a local level. After that, what we want to do is extend out to a more broad-based server-managed system so that we can implement this in various different universities using our own as an example. We can also try using something similar to a bike locker, similar to the lockers that currently exist at Cersei or ARC, for example, but instead we'd have them outside and have them for bikes. And yeah, that is our presentation. Thank you so much for your time and for listening. And if you have any questions, we'll see you at the end.
Thank you again to Lockdown. Last but not least, we'll be moving on to Tapioca Tower.
All right, hello. All right, Skylar, you should unmute yourself while I'll share my screen. Actually, wait, Skylar, should you share and present it or what?
Should I present it?
Yeah, sure, go for it.
I'll let you do it. I think because I'm lagging already.
Sure. I'll slap that present button and go to the first slide probably. All right, hello. So we are working on Tapioca Tower. I'm Ewan, and Scott, you can introduce yourself. Right? Maybe.
All right. I'm Skylar, third year systems engineering.
Oh yeah, I'm a senior mechanical engineering. And we're basically working on developing a fully functional boba machine that produces and serves milk tea made to order with like a variety of drink and topping options. So the benefits of this is that we can increase boba shop profit by optimizing the product distribution, basically allowing them to place their products further away from their stores and allow them access to placing them in like smaller niches like library hallways or the basement of Granger Engineering Library or something like that, where that's not necessarily the space for a store, but there is the space and interest in getting a snack at a really convenient location and time. Our development of this also has the potential to like further development of labor saving devices in the boba shop. Like if we're able to produce something that can make boba faster or make milk tea from start to finish faster, that boba shops might have interest in that. So in essence, we're making a boba shop in miniature, trying to automate and miniaturize all the processes in our machine, which is a little bit different than the few boba vending machines that I've seen examples of, at least in the United States. And now in Japan, they have options where they have boba drinks already fully produced and stored in the vending machines. And I've seen a couple of class projects from some universities where people just make it so that they have the boba prepared, they have the tea prepared, and they just kind of just combine them together with a couple pumps. But we're aiming for a much larger, more fully functional machine than that. So the motivation for this kind of started 2 years ago. I was thinking about a machine to inject filling into boba to like add like vitamins or something with my cousin when I was on vacation. And after 2 years, of letting that idea kind of marinate, I had the idea to like start working on a boba vending machine when Zero2One launched. And this is really mostly a way to like indulge my like curiosity to bow production and try to learn as much as I can about making something that handles food. But we also believe that our project can provide an invaluable service to our campus community because there are a lot of times where we're all studying and there are like fewer and fewer options as the night goes on and it gets really late. And it would just be really nice to have bow vending machine really close by in our study space and stuff. So how we're working on this is we're working in Zero2One and having discussions and revisions. And we'll see our final project at the end of a long series of like prototyping and testing on campus. I gotta say that Zero2One has been very helpful for us for developing a product. We learned a lot about like how like business models and then ways to make a better product and work on it more efficiently by having discussions with all the other venture directors and stuff. I did say testing on campus. That is our minimum viable product or MVP, which at the base level is a milk tea fundraising booth for Zero2One Ventures that also pretends to be a boba vending machine by having a table and having drink options and topping options. And we're hoping that we can evolve this MVP over time as we develop parts of our vending machine and test out certain things, like if we can get a subsystem that can produce a boba, that we can add that into our fundraising booth, or something that can serve the tea, we can add that into our booth. So that at the end of our development stage, the fundraising booth has been fully replaced by the fully functional vending machine. And this will allow us to test the viability of certain locations and times, be able to find peak hours and required capacity to see how much stuff we really need to put into it. All right, Skyler, you want to talk about all this stuff?
Right. So one of our secondary objectives, in case that our project isn't able to function as a fully standalone vending machine, is to operate as a labor-saving device. And so these graphics just basically show that labor is roughly 1/3 of all restaurant expenses. And so if we're able to create a device that, even if it isn't able to manufacture boba drinks entirely on its own, if we replace these within the restaurant itself, it could reduce their labor costs significantly. Next slide, please.
Yep.
And then just some quick facts about the boba market. So I've just pulled this graph here from Fortune Business Insights, and it's just basically a graphic showing the predicted growth of boba. And the boba tea market is currently valued at $1.89 billion, and that was in 2018. And there are a lot of large investors moving to capitalize on this. TIA Associates and Secret Recipe and Alchemist Foods. So they're all launching either new boba branches or investing in boba related businesses. And from our personal experiences, I don't think we've met anybody who really dislikes boba.
Yeah, and we're also thinking, like, in terms of like trends and stuff, we think that boba is much more of a cultural thing, more long lasting than something like frozen yogurt or something like that. Just kind of a personal observation.
And so our financial model currently has a two-phase plan. So our phase one plan is to use extended rental terms to existing boba shops, and the sales from that will drive product development. And then phase two, once we feel comfortable enough, we could potentially launch our own boba shop. I say boba shop, it wouldn't exactly be a shop. It would just be like a decentralized kind of set of nodes of vending machines around campus. And that would be kind of the final form of what I imagine this business would look like. So potentially a phase three, so these standalone boba vending machines in locations similar to existing vending machines. And the benefit of that is that we're not really trying to prove that vending machines would work, because that's already been done for us. It's to prove that boba would be desired in vending machines. And I think that's a much easier problem to demonstrate. And so the prototype breakdown for what's going to be our V1 prototype, 4 main subsystems: a boba and topping subsystem, a tea drink subsystem, a cup storage and dispenser subsystem, and a sealing and shaking subsystem. And those would be supported by 2 secondary systems. The rotating table is basically the internal mechanism that will move the cup of the boba, like the drink, between the different subsystems that prepares the different parts of the drink, and then customer delivery, which will be kind of finally delivering the drink to the customer, or moving it off to a storage location in case the customer orders from, say, an app example and comes to pick it up. And in the interest of time, I won't go into much detail about this, but basically these are our initial drafts for the various subsystems within our V1 prototype. And this is an algorithm breakdown of how the software running the boba machine would have to operate. Yeah.
Yeah, we sort of already mentioned all this stuff. Yeah, so you can see our product development strategy is to divide our boba vending machine into multiple subsystems with multiple mechanisms in that, so we can divide up work more efficiently and also test devices in isolation, because there are quite a few things that we need to test out and make sure that they work. So then our final product will be an accumulation of all these tested devices and designs. So at the moment, we are working on testing an air pump to move milk powder around, because we're intending to produce our milk tea using stored tea and milk powder together, so that we can hopefully avoid having to store too many things in your refrigerator at once. And milk powder is actually some people prefer it actually, so it's not like we're downgrading our product from one level below or something. But we also for sure need to test out peristaltic pumps to see if we can move water around and potentially use that to move toppings around. I don't know if it'll work with toppings, but that's the point of testing it out, to see how many different things we need and if we can cut down on the number of moving parts that we need in our vending machine. And so for milestones, yeah, we can both talk about it. For our base goals, we were fleshing out our designs and working together. Sky did a lot of sketches and stuff. We did some CAD work just to build some like simple testing setups to test out the air pump and the peristaltic pump, as we mentioned in the previous slide. And yeah, we're finishing some questionnaire interview preparations. We did talk to a few people who worked in boba shops before. There's always more we can learn from, boba shop managers and other people who make boba at home, for example. And I think our next step, we need to draft and build materials to make sure we understand like what we're testing out and how many things we're testing out and how many things we purchased. I have a friend who worked on this kind of project a little bit, and he was saying that the FDA guidelines were really tough to get around. I'm not sure if he did it, but we do need to look into food safety and processing standards. And our team is just 2 of us, but we have lots of different subsystems, so we're definitely going to be looking to recruit a lot of people to work on this. Make a prototype. Scott, have anything to add?
No, man, you hit it all.
Yeah, all right, well, it's always written down. Yeah, and we'll have a Q&A session when everyone else does at the end of all this. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right, thank you to Tapioca Tower, and again, congratulations to all the spring cohort ventures. Continue to work on your ventures and make our vision, your vision, a success. But yeah, I'll be sharing my screen again. That's the end of all of our venture demos. Let's see. Huh. Sorry, give me a second. Which screen is it? All right. Right now we'll be moving on to, again, thank you for coming. Thank you to our guests, whether you're fellow students, thank you for taking your time. Our special guests, again, we know you're very busy. Thank you for coming to support us. Yeah. Last of all, we'll be opening breakout rooms to have you talk to our founders. If you're interested, just comment in the chat which venture you'd like to talk to. But before we move on to that, the first QR code is our website. Check us out if you have time. We have another info session tomorrow at 8 p.m. We'll be recruiting for our fall 2020 cohort and our our exec committee members. And our application for fall 2020, both the cohort and the committee members are on the right. Below are 6 ventures. Again, if you'd like to talk to any of them, comment in the chat and then we can assign you to the breakout room. Once again, thank you so much for coming and hope to see you soon.